Okay, AP Stat, we are going to do example 5 in Unit 6. And I'm just going to give you, just pause this and read through this so you'll understand what's going on. I don't want to read this whole thing to you. Essentially, we have two people. One of them's taken the SAT and one of them's taken the ACT, both of which are normally distributed. I know that, or I believe they've changed some of the scoring on the SAT and ACT maybe in the last few years. I don't know. So I don't know how up to date this is. So just forgive me if that's not right. Okay, so if I want to compare these scores, I want to know who made the better score relative to the test they took. Well, since the ACT and the SAT are on different scales, it's hard to answer that question. That means you're going to need to rely on your Z-score to find the answer. So what I'm going to do is I am going to look at Jordan's score of her SAT score, which has a mean of 500 and a standard deviation of 100. Okay, so this is for the SAT. I'm just going to draw a picture to give me my bearings here. She made a 720 on her math section. So let's see how many standard deviations above the mean that would be. So I'm just going to calculate this. Oh, it usually helps though if you use the right numbers. 720 minus 500 over 100. See, I should say that while I'm doing it, but no. All right, so Jordan, her math score on the SAT was 2.2 standard deviations above the mean. So now let's look at Kelsey. So her ACT score is also normally distributed, but it's normally distributed with a mean of 18 and a standard deviation of 6. So we're also going to draw a picture for her, and she scored a 32 on her math section. Well, since she magical. So we're going to find her Z-score. It's going to be 2.3. Okay, so I want you to notice now that the Z-score, remember it's called the standardized score. We have now standardized them. We brought them down to the same standard, even though the units of the tests they took were different. So that's really cool. It's very, very useful. So I want you to notice that Kelsey scored 2.3 standard deviations above the mean for the ACT, but Jordan only scored 2.2 standard deviations above the mean. So I don't forget to answer the question. That is key here. So the question is, Kelsey, did better with 2.3 standard deviations above the mean compared to Jordan's 2.2 standard deviations above the mean. And there's a million different ways you can write this answer, as long as you incorporate the idea that Kelsey's standard deviations are more than Jordan's standard deviations. Okay? Easy peasy lemon squeezy.